7345.
Thank you for calling the Shipping Barnet Conservative Association and the office of Theresa Villiers. I'm afraid we're not here to take your call at present, but if you'd like to leave a message after the tone, we shall get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
At the tone, please leave a message.
Hello? Why did you leave my flat in a shithole? Why did you leave cat shit all over the floor? You were supposed to look after the cats and clean their litter trays. That's what you always do.
Are you blaming it on me now?
I'm telling you now, you never contact me again. You're a liability, and I had enough. I thought you were friends. Friends don't shit on each other, you know? Seeing someone who's a very
When I went in your flat, about half an hour after you first left, there was 2 lumps of crap on the floor.
Well, how come there's
Have you cleaned up?
loads on the floor, and the litter tray has not been cleaned?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Well, are you expecting me to take care of all
You
this,
always
Lisa?
clean the litter trays for me.
No, that was...
You're a pigsty.
Lisa, that was when?
That is a racist Jewish person called Lisa Mayer, number 6 Westbrook Close, EN4 9AU. Every police officer that visited me said that she should go to prison. Barnet Council said no. Barnet Council misdirected evidence away from criminal trials. Theresa Villiers, you had me thrown in prison without making a statement to a court. I've just looked you up on the website asking Google what job you've got, and I'm disgusted. I really am. I never knew that you went to a Jesus in Oxford and went, oh, God almighty, I'm speechless. You should have spoken to me in 2006, 2007, when Barnet Council's lawyers called me a fucking fruitcake for capturing a guy in Whetstone High Street with a gun, an IRA suspect. Theresa, speak to me. If you don't speak to me, I promise you, FTAC can't touch me. You talk to that borough commander. The prosecutor that was doing the borough commander case against me is the same one with that psychotic bitch that you've just heard just now, Lisa Mayer. I think her name is Trisha. She's done 4 perjury cases against me and I won them all. You've got a modern Nazi Gestapo in Barnet Council. What's the Nazi? A warning from history. Don't fucking ignore me, Theresa, because I will trash your career. Alright? Lisa Mayer trashed my career. Your government wanted people to help out in the community, and that's exactly what I was doing. Lisa Mayer trashed the whole fucking lot. I created Barnet Homes with Sir Sidney Chapman. You got no idea of who I am and what I do, and you know, I'm gonna be contacting you, and you need to talk to me. Show me the respect that I deserve. If you think you need respect, talk to me. I'm not the fucking enemy. You and that council are the enemy. I'll get back to you. Bye.
Thank you for calling the Shipping Barnet Conservative Association and the office of Theresa Villiers. I'm afraid we're not here to take your call at present, but if you'd like to leave a message after the tone, we shall get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
At the tone, please leave a message.
Yeah, Theresa Villiers, it's Martin Smith again. Look, I mean, I can talk to an answer machine and put the proper impression across, but as with solicitors and stuff, I leave lots of messages with solicitors, but I don't know the length of time that their answer machine allows. And this is a massive problem with that council. I mean, you know, you should talk to me, or if you haven't got the time to do that, find someone where I can sit in an office for a day or two and just sort this mess out. You must realise that people who forget history are condemned to repeat it. And it's exactly what was going on in 1933 in Germany with Isla Toschi in Würzburg, Germany. It's happening in Barnet. It's been going on for a long time. And the Barnet Council, oh, a swastika, oh, big deal, big deal. Are you telling me that no one in the Jewish community or Barnet watches The World at War, which is constantly repeated on the telly? You know, the war to end all wars, lest we forget. I saved lives in Westbrook Close. Bill and Ellen, number 7, Westbrook Close, he was the last man off the Dunkirk beach. And there's Lisa Mayer slagging him off on a daily basis. I've got the recordings of Lisa telling me how she used to slag him off. Why was he the last man on Dunkirk? He was the canteen man, baked bean man. He had to keep people fed. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. He did 499 parachute jumps. And then there's Sydney, Operation Market Garden. Sidney Bush, he was German, but he was in the British Army. He wasn't a spy. And then there's Richard Moore, he was in the Merchant Navy, and the slaggings he got from Lisa Mayer, straight to his face. And then, when I won that Hendon Magistrates Trial on September the 18th, 1995, I pulled him into my house because Lisa was slagging me off to him. Me and my dad are going to tell the court to lock Martin up and put him on medication for a year. I mean, old people are very manipulated. He never had any central heating. He never had a telephone. And when I told him and played him Lisa Mayer slagging him off, he went inside his house and he never came back. I'm ringing the council going, dead body for 6 weeks. His body had liquefied. And there's Lisa Mayer slagging me off to the... He keeps going round the backs of houses. Lisa Mayer is a psychopath. Remember Maxine Carr, the Soham murders? Or Rosemary West, where she was coercing and colluding people into the house to be sexually abused and killed off and buried under the floorboards and in the garden. That's Lisa Mayer. You talk to Raj's kids. Martin is the only adult that has never hit me. The kids were hitting each other because the parents were hitting the kids. They're from Mauritius. The grandma can't speak a word of English. She hits them with a wooden spoon because they won't sit down and watch the Teletubbies. You've got no concept of what's going on in your own constituency. You need to talk to me or set one of your officers in an office, tape recorded interview, you guys type it out. I've written thousands of pages and I haven't got paid a penny for it. And yet I've got to pay Lisa Mayer £10,000 and £25,000 legal costs within 14 days of being evicted, or I go to prison for 4 years. Lisa Mayer is a habitual abuser, especially on restraint.
Thank you for calling the Chipping Barnet Conservative Association and the office of Theresa Villiers. I'm afraid we're not here to take your call at present, but if you'd like to leave a message after the tone, we shall get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
At the tone, please leave a message.
Lisa Mayer is a habitual restraining order abuser. I was found not guilty. I got arrested during the trial, but I was still found not guilty. But they put a bogus restraining order on me. It's not legally valid. The Royal Court of Justice said no, it's not valid. They even put the date wrong. Starts on the 15th of the 8th, 2011, but expires on the 14th of the 8th, 2011. It wasn't a legal contract. It was finished. It was fucked. Talk to the court. And yet, you know, PC Wigley was totally on my side. I've got the recording of Wigley and Miller on my doorstep. When I showed them that restraining order, they said that's the court protecting themselves. It's the court corruption. And yet Barnet ASBO team, Noresa Staph, Ada McCarthy, and especially Tracy Lees, turned PC Wigley against me. I've still got the recordings where Wigley's telling me you're really good for the community, you're observant, you saved lives. I saved police officers' lives after those Tottenham riots. I was doing a rock and roll gig with all the black guys, I was the only white guy there, and this police inspector had surrounded the place with SPG vans. He then sent two 17-year-old rookies in, deliberately so they can get harmed, killed. I pulled them up on the stage. They were so grateful that I'd saved their lives, so I wrote a note telling that inspector to sod off, and he did. There was about 11 SPG vans loaded with coppers. There was about 200 coppers, and they all buggered off because I wrote a note saying, look, you've just put these officers' lives at risk. Who the hell do you think you are? I'm an extremely good mediator. I've worked in the rock and roll industry all my life. I never knew what racism was until I became a Barnet council tenant. Now I know what it is. It's hatred. Eric Pickles, 2010, when he became community secretary, said he's got to stop these councils building up hate crime files, allegations that people don't know about, and then someone comes along and looks at it all and judges people. That's what Tracy Lees did. When Lisa Mayer, I mean, you know, not guilty, but a restraining order. Lisa Mayer called the old bill on me within an hour of getting home, and she did it 3 times a day for a month. I've had the old bill. I couldn't even get out my front door to get to the court to do an appeal. That's vicious. That's a perversion of justice. You've got no concept of what's going on. You need to talk to me. We need amendments in these laws. The Perjury Act, the Harassment Act, which Michael Howard introduced, and when he introduced it, everyone was saying this is going to clog up the system, it's wide open for abuse, and it is. Detective Sergeant Nicky Woods, 1992-95, he threatened to kill me. I had the recording right up until when Wiggly found out I had that recording, and that's when she turned and got it evicted, thrown into a skip. So was my dead brother's ashes thrown into a skip by this psychotic Jewish bitch, and I'm talking this way now because you've programmed me to be like that. I mean, are you aware that Hendon Magistrates Court used 3 triplet clones, 60-year-old female Jewish magistrates? Adrian Usher trials, Jewish magistrates. It's 1933 all over again. And I'm not racist, I'm not, you know, but you throw it at me and you've opened my eyes to it. And I've had nothing but crap off of Barnet Council, especially since 2007. They've just drilled it and drilled it and drilled it. I've lost my original personality. I really have. I can't even think.
Thank you for calling the Shipping Barnet Conservative Association and the office of Theresa Villiers. I'm afraid we are not here to take your call at present, but if you'd like to leave a message after the tone, we shall get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
At the tone, please leave a message.
You know, I can't even think about my old job anymore. Doing intricate electronics, designing. Barnet Council has totally destroyed me. I was living on the streets for about 10 years after DS Nicky was threatened to kill me. But I still had work. I had my tools. I was still designing. I was building up components. I was building mixing desks from scratch, buying the components for £4,000, and the guys ended up with a £30,000-40,000 mixing desk. And I get trashed by a trainee ASVO officer when I get housed. And I said to Sir Sidney Chapman, when I get housed, that's when we'll deal with this problem. He said, put it in writing and I will deal with the police. But then he died, didn't he? And I had no idea that he was married or Claire was there. Now I do, because it was Claire that wrote the statement, wasn't it, that got me jailed, not you, the victim. I mean, do you realise I would have cross-examined your arse? Because those Millie Dowler rules, they don't exist. Because you are a professional capacity. I can represent myself, I can put you in the dock, and I'll make you responsible. I found a lawyer. We're thinking, well, it's very, very close. I'm going to prosecute you because you represent the government. I'm going to hit you for £100 million for wrongfully imprisoning me. You got to talk to me. I'm recording all of what I'm saying now. I'm going to process it and I'm going to put it on YouTube. Just so that Theresa May can listen to it. You know, she's halfway involved in this already, but then this Brexit thing came along and you joined with the Ministry of Justice solely to get rid of the European Court of Human Rights. That ain't going to work. It really ain't going to work. And you know, at the moment I don't know what new job you got, but I guarantee if you don't talk to me you won't be in it long, because my mission is to destroy these right-wing extremists running Barnet. You know, Sir Bernard Logan-Howe, the day he took on the job, we the Metropolitan Police are here to do the biddings of the government and the biddings of the locally elected officials. Alright, it was under pressure because of those stupid riots. But you're standing right next to Theresa May and Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson creates these crime management units. So what's happening in Westbrook Close is I'm getting picked on by 7 people and the police and the council. So that's what, 1,000%? Let's get rid of him 100% and then we don't have to declare the other 900%. Do you understand? Crime management unit. I had a bus driver drag me down the road 85 fucking yards from Sainsbury's down to Pizza Hut, the little roundabout at the bottom of the fucking station road where the railway bridge is. He lied in court, blatantly lied, because Sarah Wigley found out about it and then that trial went to shit. And this is a week after you stopped being the Transport Secretary. It's unbelievable, Theresa. They're all going to go to jail. I've got the Crown Court. They're saying get it started at the Magistrates Court, 'cause that's the only way you can get it to a Crown. But the Magistrate Court clerk is blocking it. And yet I've got, because of Lisa Mayer, I've got 5 different versions of my so-called criminal record, and it's sexed up on every single one of them. Someone's hacking the computers in HMCS. You see what I mean? The data protection guy is going to go berserk. And I'm going to go for it. Now Theresa May's Prime Minister, I really am going to go for it. David Cameron was a lovely guy. You know, but what's the problem with our justice system? It's the Crown. It's infiltrated everything. You can't get a police officer to arrest.
Thank you for calling the Shipping Barnet Conservative Association and the office of Theresa Villiers. I'm afraid we're not here to take your call at present, but if you'd like to leave a message after the tone, we shall get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
At the tone, please leave a message.
You know, because of the Crown, you can't get a police officer to arrest a police officer because it's treason to do so. Even UMPs swear allegiance to the Queen. But I don't think Jeremy Corbyn did, neither did Skinner. I mean, Skinner's a great guy. He used to give Margaret Thatcher hell, didn't he? But remember, when Thatcher got stabbed in the back, the main reason why the Conservatives did that is she neglected the guys in East Finchley. They were having to get their water from a fucking street pipe. All those Indian people from Uganda, they were getting their water from a street pipe. Thatcher was ignoring her constituency, and that's what you do, or doing. You need to change. Talk to me. I'll help you out. I'd gladly patrol the streets looking for people with guns easily. You can't do it. The police can't do it. How many police officers do you know caught a guy walking around with a loaded gun in Whetstone High Street 50 yards from the council? There isn't any. I did. Talk to the armed response unit, fast armed response unit that was in Cockfosters. They'll give me a reference. They told me they'd give me a reference. Now's the time to pull it out of the bag. Get Adrian Usher to contact those guys and they'll tell you that I was the best real-time memory witness they've ever come across. And then talk to Sheila, Safer Neighbourhood cop in my area, East Barnet, 2006-7. You've got the best long-term memory witness that she's ever come across in her 26-year career. Go and talk to her, she'll tell you. I've run out of things to say, I think, but I don't think because it's an answer machine. I'll just keep ringing you back and leaving messages. I'm not being abusive. Barnet Council is extremely abusive. All calls are recorded. Really? Calls may be recorded. Well, thank you very much for giving me permission to record. I think I will. You know, 2 of my brothers worked for that council. The council destroyed them. They both killed themselves. I've killed myself. I'm a completely different person now, thanks to Lisa Mayer. And what started off as a council resident issue is now sitting right next to David Cameron, you. But now it's gone to Theresa May, Prime Minister. It's, you know, I'm not going to give up on this. I swear I will never give up on it. I've still got the copies of the Darren Davis files. I don't know if they're actionable because they're no longer the original files. All this simplistic complexity is just got to go. Our justice system is broken. David Cameron said so. Look at that stupid divorce case at the Royal Courts of Justice. 75 million quid for what? And I think David Cameron said in 2011, it's the Saudis and these Russian oligarchs who are coming to our courts because their courts in Russia and Saudi can't cope. Why are our courts being pushed up in price out of our reach? And this is what I said to the Queen's Practice Master. I'm going to prosecute the Crown for £500 million. He looked at 4 pieces of paper, the Darren Davis files. He couldn't see anything wrong, so I upped it to 700 million. You've got to talk to me. You know, you really have, because I will politically wreck your career. I'm after Barnet Council. There's no escape. They are extremists. You know, you even in court, you guys have gone multicultural, tolerant society, but Barnet Council runs a zero tolerance. The moment you criticise them, they come down on you like a ton of bricks. Do you remember in 2007, Edward Wichussen? Oh, if Martin wasn't complaining about us, we wouldn't be prosecuting him. That's blackmail.
Thank you for calling the Shipping Barnet Conservative Association and the office of Theresa Villiers. I'm afraid we're not here to take your call at present, but if you'd like to leave a message after the tone, we shall get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
At the tone, please leave a message.
Yeah, in 2007, Edward Wichussen wrote to you explaining, I mean, I wrote to you, you wrote to the council, Edward wrote back to you, and you kindly sent me the letter that Edward sent to you, but you didn't have any opinion. You said, oh, because the council's taking you to court, there's nothing you can do about it. But if you understood the Gestapo Inquisition they were putting, you would have put a stop to it. Alright, Edward wrote to you saying, if Martin wasn't complaining about us, we wouldn't be prosecuting him. Well, on YouTube right now is Collindale Police Station telling me, if you weren't complaining about us, we wouldn't be prosecuting you. You wouldn't be the suspect. Fucking hell, Theresa, come on, wake up, shake a leg. And then there's PC Wiggly who's sending me an email and she thinks it's destroyed. It's not destroyed, I've still got it. Barnet Council destroyed my email account and my YouTube account. There's been a High Court Royal Courts of Justice case about a year ago. No one can interfere with your internet activities or destroy your email. Barnet Council did it. So I'm gonna sue them into the fucking ground. I really am. I don't care that Tracy Lees has wandered off into the ether. She's guilty. She sent me an eviction notice 10 days after that Lisa Mayer trial. You are guilty of immoral behaviour and you are guilty of an arrestable offence for which I was found not guilty for. Should never have been arrested, is what the magistrate said. They ruled I should never have been arrested. But then, you know, I'm thinking relief. But then I get pounded by my landlord, Tracy Lees. You are guilty of an arrestable offence. So I took that document to Woodgreen Crown Court, showed it to the Jewish CPS, and they agreed with me. Tracy Lees should stand trial by jury over what she's done. She's abused her position of power to judge somebody that she'd never even spoken to or met. just like you. I'm trying to help you understand the situation. Whoever it is that's reading this, I'm recording it, and I'm going to put it on YouTube, so that word for word, you can't mess with the wording. It's going to be published, and I'm going to send it straight to the Guardian and Interpol and the Hawaiian police and the Chinese police everywhere. Barnet council tax ran me the other day. I've put it on YouTube, you can check it out. This woman's going, oh, you know, do you live here, do you live there? I'm not saying nothing, I'm not going to let them know, you know. But, and then I said, I'm gonna get the ASBO team arrested using a European warrant. Now we're out of Europe. And then this woman just turned like a sheep, you know, a dog with its tail between its legs. She knows I'm right. Now we're out of Europe. That ASBO team and its staff bringing drugs across European boundaries into the UK, they're going to get their arses searched. So is Adrian Usher, and so could you if you don't shake a leg and speak to me. You can't do anything to stop me. There's Article 9, human rights, freedom of speech and all that crap, Article 10 and all that crap. But what are we going to do? We're going to get rid of the European Court of Human Rights, but then there's still the Human Rights Court. Just because it's European, there's still the Human Rights Courts. I could still sue you, even if I had to go to America to do it. And believe me, the anti-Nazi hunters in America are going to have a field day. I went to the American Embassy the other day and asked them about political asylum based on the fact that I'm being persecuted by a Nazi ideology, and they've accepted it. I'm going to go down there, I'm going to claim political asylum. I want to go and work in Arizona on a 200-inch telescope. That's what
Thank you for calling the Shipping Barnet Conservative Association and the office of Theresa Villiers. I'm afraid we're not here to take your call at present, but if you'd like to leave a message after the tone, we shall get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
At the tone, please leave a message.
You know, I've been doing astronomy all my life. I built a telescope at Ravenscroft School. I was the head boy at Ravenscroft School up until 1977. I got the highest marks in my O-levels in the whole country. You know, it's just... I can't explain it to you really. It's not worth it because you're not going to fucking listen. And I don't really care what sort of language I use. You can't control it. You just cannot fucking tell people how to talk. And there you are. You went to this Jesus school. Christ almighty, woman. I mean, what's the matter with you? Are you a delusionist? You know, you believe in things that don't exist, that can never be proven to exist, not within this dimensional universe anyway. After all, you've got to be dead to meet God, haven't you? And if God did start the Big Bang, he quite obviously blew himself up, because the Big Bang was the creation of space-time. He had no space or time to run away to. You understand what I'm saying? It's crazy. And look at Cantor. He drove himself mad. He committed suicide in an asylum because he was calculating infinity. Infinity, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then there's the other two infinities, the simplest ones. 1, 3, 5, 9, 7, all the odds. 2, 4, 6, 8, all the evens. Those two are half the size of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But they both go on for infinite. It does your head in. You see what I mean? I'm a cosmologist, and there's Lisa Mayer slaughtering me using these nasty hate crime Coronation Street shit. And the ASBO team believe her because they got no concept of where I'm coming from. E equals mc squared is the equation of life. That star, the sun, is a fusion reactor. It works on E equals mc squared. It creates life. The world wasn't created in 6 days. That's nonsense. Oh, God almighty, how the fuck can I explain this? Just what the hell have you let that council do to me and other people? Tonya was really on my side. How the fuck did they turn Tonya against me? We smoked weed together. She's a school teacher, she drives cars, and she smokes a fucking 5-skin spliff when she goes to work. Driving a car. I don't drive. In the music industry, I get driven. If I was driving, I'd be driving musicians home at the end of the gig. Fuck off, I'm not doing that. I used to work for the Sex Pistols, Diana Ross, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, John Bon Jovi, Meatloaf, Cliff Richard, oh god, I was going to say Rolf Harris, no, not him, Gary Glitter. Right? I've worked for all these cunts. Fucking hellfire. I don't know what to say to you, really. You've got to talk to me. Because Barnet Borough has shut down all the music venues. It's anti-art. It's anti-culture. They slowly shut off all the roads for the gypsies. And there was Brian Coleman, I think it was 2008 or 2009, going on the telly boasting how proud he was that Barnet is the only borough in the whole country that has eliminated all land use for the travelling gypsy public. That's exactly what the Nazis did, isn't it? And what are you going to do if Barnet Council runs the whole country? Push these sort of people out into the ocean? Thank God he drove that car into that woman and became a criminal, because he is a criminal. So is Mike Freer. Criminals. Just because they get friendly with the Jews doesn't mean to say you're not a criminal. I think in 2007 an Orthodox Jew got sent to prison for importing 2.5 kilos of cocaine. It was in the Barnet Press. And the CPS at Hendon, we the CPS of Hendon Magistrates Court are going to up the level of convictions to 100% to justify our funding. Michelle Goodwin, one paragraph in the Barnet Press.
Thank you for calling the Shipping Barnet Conservative Association and the office of Theresa Villiers. I'm afraid we're not here to take your call at present, but if you'd like to leave a message after the tone, we shall get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
At the tone, please leave a message.
You know, I mean, it was me that got Keir Starmer to remove the CPS, especially from Colindale police station, because when I was being charged in Colindale, or dragged into the charge room, or dragged into that police station, you got all these plainclothes idiots standing around, gawping at you, laughing about you, and it turns out they're the CPS, and yet the CPS is supposed to be independent from the police. They're not. And also Keir Starmer gave us the option, very few people know this, at the moment you're being charged you can ask for an independent CPS to review the case. Now they're throwing it back in my face, going, oh, we have to email an anonymous prosecutor. How do I know it's not Alex Wald all the time? Or Tina Wald all the time? It's not good enough. It's damn well not good enough. And this is why the filth, because they are filth, don't like me. Look at the Lisa Mayer statement. PC Windsor, DCI Meredith and Charge Sergeant Plantan. They all said, we received a phone call of harassment from person A against person B. And further down on the same page, person A was charged. Person A was put on bail to appear at court. It should say, we received a phone call of harassment committed by person A against person B. Person A was Lisa Mayer, and it says person B was Martin Smith. But person A, Lisa Mayer, was charged, made multiple phone calls, multiple harassments, put on bail to face trial. And because the police write statements like that, I now need a high-powered, experienced, expensive lawyer, which is exactly what they were saying about Darren Davis in 1992. Nothing changes with that CPS since the day they were created, and Darren Davis is the son of a police supergrass, Operation Countryman, and the CPS got created from Operation Countryman, CPS Crown Prosecution Service, but they had to inherit the police's supergrasses. So a part of the CPS was the Criminal Protection Service, Witness Protection Programme, Jobs for Life. I've had Lee Patrick Davies working as a postman, returning summonses from Barnet County Court against his own family. He works in the Royal Mail. Yet he is the one that was dealing drugs to an LSD to 14-year-old kids outside He was the baker at Sainsbury's in 1994. I got him busted. Luckily I got the newspaper cutting where he was having 14 out of 18 drugs charges dropped. Woodgreen Crown Court, the judge went ballistic. I said to him, this is the Criminal Protection Service in action. He adjourned that case sine die so I can reopen it, not the police and not the CPS. But the CPS have twisted it. Oh, you know, there's a sine die on file. Yet Keith Vaz says he's got to get rid of all these criminal records that are spent. Sine die that shouldn't be there. They're all abused by the CPS. We don't know that they're holding this stuff on us. You know, the Lord Levinson inquiry. I want you to tell Lord Levinson to contact me. I can fix the broken justice system. It's simple. Perjury Act, Harassment Act, Statement of Truth. Warning, I'm liable for prosecution. That's it. No, warning, I'm liable for prosecution by the judge, the jury. Even the CPS should be allowed to turn around and say, Your Honour, the police have lied. I've got to prosecute them. They've wasted police court time. They've made me, a CPS Barrett, look like I'm an idiot in front of the jury. Do you understand? There are simple things, and the Harassment Act. Thou shalt not harass a defendant is not in the Harassment Act. And I got persecuted.
Thank you for calling the Shipping Barnet Conservative Association and the office of Theresa Villiers. I'm afraid we're not here to take your call at present, but if you'd like to leave a message after the tone, we shall get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
At the tone, please leave a message.
I'm going to make this one the last one. I'm going to finish here. In that bogus, illegal Gestapo Inquisition eviction case, just take a look at Aidan McCarthy's statement. He says at the bottom, I believe all this to be true. Even if it's not true, I still believe it to be true. What sort of attitude is that? That is a gross misconduct of office, abuse of power, abusing the justice system as if it's just water off a duck's back. And it's not really, is it? That is highly, highly treasonable. He's rubbishing the justice system, knowing full well he's going to get away with it. I believe all this to be true. Even if it's not true, I still believe it to be true. Yet he knows that it's not true. CPS in Southwark HQ have told me the CPS in North London are inflicting personal vendettas against me. I've got that telephone call. I'm going to publish it on YouTube. Because right now, I know that you and all the rest of them are going to come down on me like a ton of fucking bricks. And I'm not going to have it. I'd rather die. Please, just give me a gun with a single bullet and I'll make damn good use of it. I'll blow my own head off because I can't take it anymore. I really can't. Theresa, please speak to me. Assign an investigator and get this problem sorted out. That ASBO team is nasty. They need to be disbanded. They need to learn a lesson. The Nazi, A Warning from History, Episode 2, Isla Toschi. Check it out. Okay, I've recorded all of this. I'm going to put your image from WikiLeaks with it, and I'm going to put it on YouTube as fast as I possibly can, because I'm doing it not to be nasty, it's to protect myself. And I've got no profile in YouTube. I'm not getting massive hits. It's just there for evidence. Don't get wishy-washy and confused with propagandistic ideologies. Oh, he's using YouTube, you know, and all that bollocks. It's not. Barnet Council said we can't play your data. PC Wiggly, we can't play your CDs. We haven't got a CD player. The court, my own solicitors, we can't play your data. So I put it on YouTube because it will work on anybody's computer. It's a question of compatibility. There should be a YouTube site for legal, so us defendants can put video of police officers threatening and taking the piss out of us. Alright, there you go. If I can meet Mike Zuckerberg, I'm going to tell him about building a justice YouTube site. Do you understand? When police officers are taking us to court, yet they're fucking threatening us, we can film it. The Met Police said we've stopped carrying out investigations. Victims of crime can capture their own evidence, carry out their own investigation, use digital media, CCTV, audio recordings as our evidence. And then there's Barnet Council going, oh, you're filming a woman. It's not right. You're putting us on YouTube. I'm exposing what the fuck it is they get up to, Theresa. I'm not being abusive with YouTube. It's there as evidence so a magistrate can just look it up without any compatibility issues. You get it? Okay, I'm going to leave it at that because I've got a splitting headache now. I'm going to process this. I'm going to put it up on a private link, but if you don't get back to me within a week, I'll publish it on the public link. Okay, please get back to me. I'm not being nasty. Just talk to me and get this fuck.
Thank you for calling the Shipping Barnet Conservative Association and the office of Theresa Villiers. I'm afraid we're not here to take your call at present, but if you'd like to leave a message after the tone, we shall get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
At the tone, please leave a message.
Theresa, this is going to be the last message, hopefully. How about this for a concept? I mentioned earlier, could you get us like an investigator to work with me and go through some of these issues? Look, my heart really goes out with David Cameron. Even before he became Prime Minister, the guy's head is genuine, and he genuinely knows there's a broken justice system. Now, look at Michael Gove and your Conservative Party conference last time. He used a guy called Elroy Palmer, who'd been through the prison system and all of that, but when he came, while he was in prison and all of that, he did a university degree. Well, you don't really need a university degree if you've got the intelligence to cope with it and understand what the hell it is that's going on and going wrong. This broken justice system, I've experienced every single side of it. Ponzi police officers, Ponzi CPS, Ponzi judges, Ponzi ASBO teams when I got housed. Everything that's wrong with the justice system that Keith Vaz said, I've experienced it. I don't need a university degree. I've never lost a criminal trial. Even though Barnet Council, they started their case going, oh, he's been violent to the neighbours, he's done this, he's done that. Well, I was found not guilty in all those trials, yet they carried on with it. It's called cross-contamination. These are all areas that David Cameron experienced and spoke about. No, he didn't experience it, he spoke about it, because he knows about it, but he's never experienced it. Look at David Blunkett, who's blind. When he was Home Secretary, he'd never been in a courtroom. When he retired, he went on jury service, and he came out saying that these prosecutors are just doing hatchet jobs on upright citizens that are innocent. I've experienced everything. So how about this for a concept? David Cameron deserves at least 6 months off, but I'm sure he'd love to be a minister without portfolio. And if he was to sit down and work with me partly in secret, I can explain everything that's wrong with the justice system, and I'm certain David Cameron would find it a very savoury project to get involved with. And then in 6 months' time, he could hit Lord Levinson and get corrections made. All right, these oligarchs have got the money, and the Royal Courts of Justice wants to earn that money, but we need a new court system. When the police have so blatantly lied, as in the Darren Davis case, crime file where he's beaten me up, Edmonton CID, no, I've never beaten Mr. Smith up before, I've often felt like doing so, no, in fact I've resisted temptation. I got remanded into custody about 7 times until the Crown Court judge stopped it. Okay, it's because it's all bias. 7 or 8 remands into custody. The judge laid into the CPS for abusing Enfield Magistrates Court, but the CPS was abused by Edmonton CID, who were just there protecting drug dealing police supergrasses, bank robbers. Ask David Cameron to listen to these phone calls and consider working with me to build a new justice system. It's very, very worthwhile. And this is why people like Jeremy Corbyn are really gaining ground. I think the new government should be Jeremy Corbyn, you know, and me, or someone like Michael Gove won't stand a chance. You won't stand a chance. Theresa May, Boris won't really stand a chance. He created the crime management units blindly, thinking, oh, that's a good thing, I can't criticise the police. And whenever he was asked a question about Barnet Council, he goes, oh, we're building the Channel Tunnel. He just would not...
Thank you for calling the Shipping Barnet Conservative Association and the office of Theresa Villiers. I'm afraid we're not here to take your call at present, but if you'd like to leave a message after the tone, we shall get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
At the tone, please leave a message.
You know, Boris Johnson created these crime management units blindly, and yet it's so abused, he can't see the abuse. And whenever he's asked a question about Barnet Council, oh, we're building the Channel Tunnel. I mean, Andrew Drismore asked Sir Bernard Logan Howe, why is it 999 calls are not being accurately recorded and registered and responded to in Barnet? Sir Bernard Logan Howe said, I will get back to you on that. And I don't think he has, because I've questioned Drismore. He's been on my doorstep canvassing. He's just thick as shit, and I think it's because, I mean, I'm not being anti-Semitic, but he must be Jewish. There's something wrong with the guy. He won't fucking listen. I'm certain that these 999 calls are people that are being picked on by the council, and the council's telling the police to ignore it. That's what's going on in Barnet. It's got to stop. Anyway, look, I think it's a great idea that I work with David Cameron. I really do. I've got a great deal of respect for the guy. But you've lost my respect unless you phone me back. And believe me, I know I can hit you with a £100 million estimated lawsuit for wrongfully. You were the government. You're not an individual when you did that. You were the government. Alright, sweetheart, please contact me. Let's get this together and talk sensibly. I mean, if you get fired, you might not have a job. Perhaps I can work with you and build a new justice system, but I don't think you're right-minded enough. David Cameron is right-minded enough. Okay, please call me back. It's 0203 302 1806. It's pointless emailing me. I've developed a psychological problem with that. I can't handle any more rejection. I'm so close to suicide, and yet I think I'm coming through it. I'm pulling through. But believe me, Lisa Mayer's got to be stopped. Thank you, babe. Bye.
Thank you for calling the Shipping Barnet Conservative Association and the office of Theresa Villiers. I'm afraid we're not here to take your call at present, but if you'd like to leave a message after the tone, we shall get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
At the tone, please leave a message.
One final message. My personality. When I got housed, I started to download hundreds of Horizon documentaries and whatever I could to do with physics and science and all that stuff. Because ever since I left school, I'm not like a police officer. Oh, I got a job for life, I can't even be fired. You know, I carried on with my education. I learn every single day. I still, although I'm like 55 now, I still feel like I'm a 16, 18-year-old guy. So my personality, what I've discovered is, I've got the same personality as Galileo, Socrates, Michael Faraday, a Sandemanian that was persecuted, a small Christian cult sect, very gentle, and they believe that if you could unlock one small thing in nature, then sort of you're revealing God. And this is what Einstein would think. If you step back far enough, you can see all of creation in one go, the cosmological fluid, and from that perspective you can calculate it. But the further you go in and the smaller you look, the more chaotic it becomes. If you step back on Westbrook Close, you'll see Lisa Mayer causing the ASBO team in Sarah Wigley to run around like bumblebees in a chaotic fashion. Whereas I can just step back and go, there's the problem, her, or it, or that. So my personality is the same as Galileo, Cantor, Isaac Newton, James Lovelock, Gaia Theory, Daisy World, Paul Dirac, Magajul, who did the Einstein Biggest Blunder, which I think is the greatest documentary ever, where the Big Bang is created from the vacuum of space. See, our universe is expanding and it's accelerating, so because everything's flying apart, it's just creating a massive vacuum, and the vacuum energy sort of snaps and pulls back on the speed of light. It's like putting on the brakes on a car. Where does all that energy go to? Bang, into all the matter of the universe. That way you kind of get rid of a singularity, a single point. All the vacuum energy is everywhere, and so you get a creation of matter, conversion of energy to matter, vacuum energy into physical matter everywhere. It's simple once you start to understand it. So I've got these eccentric personality, which is independent thinkers. I've looked at the justice system in like Einstein does. Step back far enough and it's easy to calculate what the hell it is that's going on and going wrong. As you know, when you're in the thick of it, you're in the woods, you can't see the wood for the trees, and that's what's going on. And one final thing on racism. This country and the world will always have an us and them situation as long as there's Labour, Conservative, or one religion and another religion, and us and them. Believe me, the Brahma religion is the closest religion to reality that you could ever conceive. It's an amazing theory. The whole universe is God. We are God. We are individually made from God. All of us. Everything. Every rock, every stone, every animal, every being, every molecule of water is the living entity of the universe. That